everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. You know we got the Toronto Pro coming up in just a couple days. This is the man I'm picking to take the 212 division all the way from Quebec, which I believe is in another part of Canada than Toronto. Mahmoud Al Durrah, how are you, sir?
How's it going, Ron?
Very well, very well. So I just saw you in New York a couple weeks ago. Thought you could have been higher. So let's start there. First of all, were you pleased with the way you peaked, the package you brought in terms of, we're always looking for that perfect balance of fullness and condition. How did you rate your physique that day?
Yeah, I could have been better. I feel I could have been better. Not in terms of placing. I don't really care about that.
Okay.
I always look at myself more important than where I placed, like how I looked.
Yeah.
And then based on that, then I was like, okay, now I can compare to others.
Okay.
I thought I could have been a little sharper. I was more on the fuller side.
Yeah.
And I feel like I think I'm going to go back to my old formula from last year for Toronto.
Yeah, last year you won the Vancouver Pro. You took third in Toronto, but you kind of got lost in that the big battle between Cody Montgomery and Zane Watson. But I thought you were every bit as good as it could have been a three-way tie as far as I was concerned. But we can't have three-way ties in bodybuilding. What is your favorite look so far? You've also placed at a few other shows. New York Pro, you were up there last year too. What is your best personally look that you preferred so far?
Vancouver Pro, man.
Okay.
I looked nuts. Okay. I really feel if I had brought the Vancouver Pro look to the Olympia, I would have been in the top 10. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Fair enough. I do want to ask you about New York Pro one thing, because you had a different perspective, getting a better look than most of us. Most of us were sitting about 1,000 feet away from the stage because of the way that show is set up. 212 division was very, very controversial, as you know. Eduardo Correa took second place to Ahmad Ashkenani, and there was probably about 300 people from Brazil in that audience they were out for blood when that came. The boos were deafening. Personally, how did you see that decision? Because obviously the guy won, so a lot of people could argue that it was the right call.
That's a very tough question, and I have to be very careful answering that.
Well, you weren't in the audience either. You were watching from the sidelines and from the call-outs next to these guys. So, you really couldn't see what the judges saw either.
Eduardo was striated top to bottom. He was so dry to the point where I was kind of struck by it backstage, and I even asked him if I was like, can I kind of touch his thigh?
Yeah.
From how dry it looked. When Ashkenani came on stage, he was a tank. Like really, really big.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
apples and oranges.
They're completely different looks. The only thing for me, it doesn't make a difference for me because I wasn't gonna beat either of them.
Yeah.
But it can just get a little confusing sometimes.
Right.
Because I noticed not all the shows have the same criteria.
Yeah. Well,
so I feel some shows are more inclined to a certain look than others.
Right.
And I think that's the only thing that kind of makes it a little confusing. But other than that, people should know that it's a subjective sport. It's like when you're watching those dancers on ice, with the scores and everything.
Ice skating, figure skating, yeah.
Figure skating, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's some person is gonna like a look more than the other, and athletes should know that going into bodybuilding.
True. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, I want to congratulate you on a very significant achievement. You just passed 500,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel.
That's awesome. Yeah.
For a bodybuilder especially, I don't know if you can count on more than one hand the guys who have that many or more subscriptions, active competitors.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. Very happy because it's the content that I put out there. Like I put a lot of work into it. Like I vlog all my shows,
Yeah.
but in detail. You know, like I'm talking interesting stuff. Like it's not just the training and the eating and the same thing that we see over and over.
Yeah.
Well, like it's, you know, the fun. Like I have my best friend who flies with me most of the time, and like the dynamic of our relationship is very funny. So there's that. There, you know, shaving. He shaves me the night before the show, and it's like kind of really funny because, you know, like kind of my culture. It's like people are looking like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" You know?
Yeah. Well, any culture. I don't think there's any culture where men shaving other men is a normal thing.
Yeah. So there's that. You know, the airplane ride. Like if there's a kid screaming on the flight, well, I'll probably have that on camera, and I'd be like, someone's blow my head off.
Yeah.
The flight, the airport, the carb up, and of course, I think the most interesting part is when I meet up with my coach, and then like the video dynamic kind of like takes a serious turn with the music. Like now it's all more serious. It's game time. It's the night before the show, so there's a nice build up to it. It's like, you know, every show is like a 4-episode vlog or 5-episode vlog.
Wow.
So there's that, and then I do like the in-between show videos where it's just like, you know, useful information about supplements, other supplements.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that, you know, the Western market is fully saturated. Like everyone's done that. So I figured, you know what, I'll target that side of the world because they don't have that going on.
Right.
And I guess it worked.
Yeah, because I believe when we did our first interview, you said, you know, your content is in Arabic. The channel, everybody, it's his last name, Durrah, IFBB Pro. But I think you said you tried to do some vlogging in English, and a lot of your subscribers weren't too keen on that. So I get it. I mean, like you said, it's saturated. Every twerp that's been lifting weights for a week in the U.S. has his own YouTube channel. So
yeah, it's the same thing over and over, right? Like I always try and give advice to people when they're starting out. I'm like, don't put the same shit that's already there. Like the whole slow motion guy girl video couple training thing, like just enough with that. Like it's already there. It's not special anymore.
Yeah.
Like no one cares.
You know, you have a wife and kids, which it's not totally unique in bodybuilding, but there's not a lot of guys who are able to balance the both. Do you do anything in your video content about how you balance your family life and the bodybuilding?
No, just hold on just a second. The doors. Yeah.
I got my dog locked up downstairs, everybody. At least I hope that's a dog and not a child we're hearing. Yeah. Meanwhile, you can see his Mahmoud's kitchen. It's immaculate, spotless, nice lighting. Just remind everybody while we're waiting, Toronto Pro play-by-play is going to be on musculardevelopment.com on the Noble forums.
You can just edit that out, I guess.
Nah, we're going right through. I just kept yapping the whole time.
So I don't really put, you know, the whole balancing life thing, but I do include them in my videos. So in New York Pro, my wife and my son came.
Well,
yeah,
I barely saw you at the show. That's like one of the most chaotic. I don't want to make it sound like a bad thing, but it's packed in there, and there's so much noise and people. It's New York, so you can imagine.
Yeah, and it's also like when my wife comes with me, it's more like it's not a vacation, you know. It's
right. Yeah.
Like she has to go get this, get that, and then meet me at the room, pick me up at this time. The meet my tens in 10 minutes. Where are you? You know, kind of thing.
Get to Whole Foods now. I was going to Whole Foods. Did you get a chance to see any of New York while you were there, or no?
Oh yeah, so that's what every time we go to a show, we stay an extra 2 days, walk around. I went to this amazing breakfast place in Manhattan the day after. It's called Bubby's. So it's like rated one of the best breakfast places in Manhattan you can go to. huge, like very long waiting list, but man, the food is totally worth it. Totally worth it.
I hope you had a lot of pancakes or waffles.
I actually discovered a new dish that I never knew existed, which is fried chicken and pancakes.
Yeah, that's a thing, but I've never had it either, but that's been a thing for a while here.
That is a thing. I had no idea.
Well, there's a whole chain of restaurants called Waffle House. I think it's mostly in the South, but it's chicken and pancakes, fried chicken and pancakes.
Yeah, I didn't know that combination existed.
No. Yeah, I wanted to get your take on something else because the updated list just came out today. It's being updated every day, as these things always are. And the guy that I didn't think he was going to make it to the show, Hadi Choopan, tried to come. He keeps trying to get into the U.S. and Canada from Iran, and it's just not happening. You've been through the process because you emigrated from Egypt. It was a few years ago.
Yeah.
So
yeah, 10 years ago.
It's not easy to get into Canada like people think it is.
No, I don't know why people think it's easy. I think it's just because the whole, Facebook Justin Trudeau thing.
Yeah.
With the, supporting a lot of other countries. So people think it's a free-for-all.
Yes.
It's not. It's exactly as difficult. And I really think it's easier to get into the States than it is to Canada.
Wow.
Not exaggerating.
Yeah.
And if you get rejected from getting a visa to Canada, to the States,
yeah,
you're not stepping foot into Canada. That's not going to happen.
I mean,
yeah, that's it.
You told me the story about your visa came at the last minute and you ended up missing your son's birth.
My wife was given birth.
Mm.
She's Canadian.
Right.
And it's like they're still taking months. And I'm like, hey, my kid's going to be born next week.
Yeah.
The visa came out on his birthday.
Yeah.
And I took the first plane out of there and I missed the delivery. And I arrived the night after.
Yeah, I mean, people don't understand. I have my son-in-law is from Australia, and I've watched him go through this whole process for the last 3 years of trying to get green card and visa and all this stuff, and it's never a fast process. It always takes.
No, and he's in Australia, so imagine like Middle East.
Yeah, yeah. I think he had a harder time because he's Lebanese. I think it was his name. Musa was maybe an issue. I don't know, but that's a theory we're running on. But back to the show. So last year you did those shows. You did the Olympia. So what did you do after the Olympia? When you looked at your physique, what areas were you thinking, I want this to be better for the 2019 season?
Legs.
Yeah. I mean, upper body's damn good. Your legs did look better at New York, I got to say.
They're bigger. I think my legs are bigger. They're more mature. They weren't as cut as last year at this last New York Pro.
Right.
I know they will be in Toronto.
Yeah.
So now it's like I'm curious with my new size, how would they look like fully cut?
True. So you've been training for years. What were some of the things that you did to really bring them up? Because there's a ton of guys watching this who are in the same boat where their legs just aren't quite as impressive as their upper bodies, and they want to know, how do I do that?
Here's the thing, Ron, I can't squat. I have a back issue, and I can't squat at all. So I noticed the most contributing thing to leg size is walking lunges with dumbbells.
Yeah.
The more I do that, it just works. The problem is it's really exhausting.
Yes. I mean, are you doing them outside too or no?
You mean walking outside?
Yeah.
No. I have a huge gym. It's enough.
I don't know why people think you have to go outside just because Ronnie Coleman was outside. Everyone thinks they want to be like Ronnie.
In the heat. I don't know. Yeah, people do weird things.
We did it. I got to do it one time, and it was pouring rain, and that road is unpaved that Metroflex gym is on. It's all gravel and crap. So we were like slogging through puddles. And
that's a nice recipe for a good tear.
Good tear. Plus, I destroyed my nice new sneakers. I'm still pissed off about that. Anyway, you had your own supplement company for a while, but now you are a Redcon 1 athlete. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very happy about that.
Tell me how that came about.
So I sold my company. I sold everything that I have. And the reason why I did that is because I noticed I'm putting for the work I do online, the programs, as well as my YouTube,
Yeah.
as well as competing, and then playing father at home.
Hold
That
on.
was already
People might not realize you don't just coach a couple people online. Like how many active people are we
like
talking at a time?
promotions. When I do the promotional discounts,
Yeah.
I can sell like 80 plans in 4 days. Give
Wow.
me a second. Jogles. Jesus Christ. Hey, come here.
Tell you people, my dog has ruined more interviews than I care to count. But again, let me remind you, play-by-play for the Toronto Pro
So,
starts Saturday morning, musculardevelopment.com forums. Okay, yeah, just hold
hey,
them. All right.
yeah. Holy moly, man. Just relax.
Yeah.
So, I like in 3-4 days, I can sell 80 plants, and then I'm stuck for the whole week or 10 days just working.
Oh, you're good. It takes me like a couple hours to do one program for somebody because I'm so slow.
That's why I'm
Jeez.
always up to like 4. You'll always see me online at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oof. Well, you're also, I assume you do like Skype consults with clients and stuff too?
Those are very expensive,
Yeah,
and
I
I
know.
don't do Skype. So I do WhatsApp.
Okay. Because the time difference between where you are and where they are must be quite a time difference too.
It doesn't really matter. Like it's more like of a follow up kind of thing. So like they can ask me a question and then I'd answer it a few hours later.
Yeah.
So I have all that going on, and I realize that the work that I'm putting in the supplement company isn't enough.
Yeah.
And whatever money I'm making is not comparable to what I'm doing with the programs and my YouTube channel.
Ah, I see.
So I figured, um, what company do I like? Like, if I were to use what supplements do I buy
Yeah.
that I don't have in my own company? And it was Redcon One.
Hmm.
Like I used to always buy their protein and their bars, their MRE bars,
Yeah.
their sleep supplement because I have a sleep issue. So I asked a couple of guys who worked for them. I said, "Hey, can you put in a word like if they're interested in taking on an athlete?"
Yeah.
Told me, "Well, you have your own line." I said, "Yeah, I don't want to keep doing that. Like I'm planning on selling out everything, retaining the money that I make, and I'm not going to manufacture anymore."
Hmm. Cool.
So it didn't work out for like a whole year. Like two people who worked there were not able to. I don't know. I don't know if they even spoke to someone or not.
Hmm.
They said they did, but no one got back to them apparently.
Yeah.
But and then after that, I spoke to Antoine.
Okay.
I said, "Hey, can you please talk to someone? Like I really want to be on that team."
Yeah.
Like specifically, like they have a few things that I really really liked, and like when I like something in a company, like I want to be, and I liked how just the dynamic of the company, how they treated their athletes. They're always they're everywhere.
Right.
Antoine spoke to Aaron Singerman. He showed him all my YouTube stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Aaron asked to speak with me on the phone, and it worked out.
Wow. I think you better hold that dog.
It's a full house.
Oh man. So
Yeah.
you must have been pretty upset to hear what happened with Antoine a couple weeks ago tearing his bicep.
That was really horrible because, like, I've always kind of trained alone, competed alone. Like, yeah, my wife came with me, my coach came with me, but it's like still like it was almost like a one-man job.
Yeah.
So when Antoine was doing it, like I felt like, yes, like I finally have like a friend that's actually competing too.
Yeah.
And like we can do this together and fly together and have the meals together. And then 1 week before New York, he had his tear, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's horrible.
He was looking so good too. So good.
Man, like honestly, some of these pictures don't do him justice. Like he would have battled for that first spot in New York.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been him, De La Rosa, Ian Valliere, and Hollingshead first call out, I think, for sure.
Oh, I think he would have done New York.
Oh, he would. Oh, that's right. I think he said he was going to because he was just.
Yeah,
It was a thing of whether he was in condition. He was. He wasn't. He was already in
he
shape. He was. I could tell.
he was ready. He was ready, and we even know what we planned. Like we said, like the last week, hey, let's do New York.
Hmm.
And I was so excited, and unfortunately, shit happens. I don't know.
Yeah. So he moved to Toronto area. Seems like most of the people are. Who's still left as far as people that you know in the business and hang out with the Montreal area?
I don't really have a lot of people that I hang out with.
Well, you don't have time, do you?
No, not really. Like, yeah, it's, no, not a lot. No.
Okay. So let's say you win this show Saturday night. Would you shut it down until the Olympia at that point?
I keep telling myself that I might do another show, but knowing myself, I probably won't. Like I'm gonna gorge right into food.
Because I mean, how many more weeks is Vancouver after Toronto?
Oh, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, I thought maybe you'd want to get two of those titles, but yeah, I guess one's
No,
good.
no. If I win a show, I don't. If I win a show, I think that's it. Like I don't see a point in doing it again.
That's true. But talk to me a
Yeah.
little bit about the Olympia because it's going to be a very exciting Olympia. We've got Flex Lewis has left the title open, so there's going to be a new champ regardless. Jose's gone. You know, a lot of these guys that have been the old guard, the veterans for years, if they're not gone now, they're going to be gone within a year or two, and that sort of leaves it open for this next wave of younger, fresher guys to step up into the top 212 slots. So it must be a pretty exciting year for you for the Olympia when you think about it that way.
No, well, not really, because I'll be honest with you, and you might not like that, but you guys you set the stage
Hmm.
for who's gonna be the next Olympia champion,
Hmm.
and like we don't know who's gonna be the best, but I noticed that a lot of the like MD or any other like news channel for bodybuilding,
Yeah.
there is that certain hype that goes on always for one particular bodybuilder, and I feel that
Derek Lunsford.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I feel that hype always gives that person in particular
Hmm.
a big advantage
Hmm.
on all the rest of the other athletes.
Well, you give us a lot more importance than I thought I never thought we had any level of influence like that. Maybe we do, but I really never thought we did.
Like you might not see a lot of interaction in the comments,
Hmm.
but trust me, like the little, maybe not the videos, because I don't know who would who would want to listen to me talk for 10 minutes. But like the pictures,
500,000 people, that's who. 500,000
the
people around the world. But go ahead.
people see that, and it's like, oh, okay, so we're expecting him to win,
Hmm. Yeah.
and that I think that puts pressure, on the whole ambience there. That this guy has to be the next winner now, because like everyone's talking about him being the next winner, and I think the only way to break that is if someone shows up the same way Ronnie Coleman showed up in 1998.
Yeah. Lights out.
Lights out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like game over. This is not even a contest anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and what are the chances of that really happening?
You know, I think it's wide open. I think Derek's going to be a strong contender, obviously. Ashkenani's going to be a strong contender. Eduardo as well. I'm sure we can rattle off a few more names. I think it's wide open this year. I really think any of those top, you could name 5, 6 guys who are all right there on the cusp. Where I don't think Derek, just because, it's like Ashkenani took second 2 years in a row. So a lot of people assumed, well, he's next in line. But a lot of that next in line stuff never pans out in the end. In my experience.
I don't think anyone said Ashkenani is next in line.
Even when he was taking second.
Yeah. I was thinking, he placed second. It was more like, could he be the next in line? But he's not the next in line. Like when people said, the next guy in line, no, it's Flex Lewis. He's going to win again, obviously.
Yeah.
But what people said the next guy in line is Derek Lunsford. That's the common thing that I always hear.
Yeah. Well,
From all of you guys. Like,
Yeah.
MD, Flex, RX, same thing. The next guy to be the Olympia is Derek Lunsford.
Yeah. I mean, he's very good, but if he's not shredded and full, and a few of you other guys are looking better, he's not going to win. You know, they're not going to give it to him. He's going to have to earn it. He's going to have to look that good. You know, I really, that's how I believe. I mean, same thing with the Olympia. I don't think, unless Phil comes back, which I think he will, I don't think, you know, Sean's guaranteed another win at all. I think there's a few guys who could really push for it, and assuming if Phil doesn't do the show, I think we could very well see a new Mr. Olympia this year too.
I guess Brandon Curry.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say Brandon. You know, Brandon's very good. I'm a big fan. I like him as a person, but I don't look at Brandon and think nobody's beating that. I don't see any of these guys right now that are that dominant the way Phil was or Ronnie was.
Yeah, I think Phil was the last of these people where it's like no one's touching him.
Right. Which is
and if he fixes his hernia,
supposedly he has,
and he did. Yeah, he did the surgery. He looks better. I really think he is going to, and I always said that. I always said Phil's going to get 9 Olympias.
Well, this could be number 8 this year, so he just needs one after that, right?
I don't think this year. I think next year.
Okay, well, I mean, selfishly, I hope it's this year. Cause
Me too.
I want all the people in the show. I want Kai back this year. You know, what are the odds of that?
I don't think that's going to happen either.
I don't think so either. But back to you. So we're a couple days out. You're flying out tomorrow?
Yeah.
So, you know, tell us a little bit about what you got in store. What's going to be different? What are you going to be improved on from New York as far as fullness, condition? What have you really been tweaking?
I'm going back to my old formula. That's it.
Okay.
It's the only change I'm making.
Okay, cool. Well, I wanted to keep this short because we'll probably do another interview after you win at the show, I hope.
Yeah, so, don't say that.
I don't think it's a jinx. I don't think that's a jinx thing. The best physique on the day of the show wins, regardless of hype or lack of hype, most of the time. Most of the hype. So let's hope that you have the best physique on stage that day and you win. You know, it's going to be a tough show. You don't want to win a show where nobody was there because then people say big deal.
No, of course not.
And you know
that's a lot better. Hope I present something that's worthy enough to win.
Right. Well, I mean, we've seen it. That Vancouver package, I wasn't there, but I did see videos and pictures, and I think if you bring that look again to Toronto, I don't think anyone's going to be able to handle it. So let's see what happens. So congratulations on the Redcon 1 deal. That's great.
Thank you.
Instagram, it's just the Durrah, everybody. TheDurrah. Durrah. I keep saying Durrah. I don't know why I want to say
Durrah. It's Durrah.
The Durrah, like durable.
Yeah.
And the YouTube channel, it's in Arabic, but I assume there's training stuff on there that you don't need to.
They're all, by the way, a lot of the nice videos, like the ones actually worth watching, are subtitled.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was very nice of you. So it's his last name, Durrah, IFBB Pro. So I want to wish you the best of luck, Mahmoud. I will see you in Toronto.
For sure, man.
I think you've got a great chance, and we'll see what happens. Thanks for the interview. Good luck to you, sir.
Appreciate it, Ron. Take care and all the best.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching the Ronline Report. Check out this guy this weekend on our play-by-play and contest photos of the Toronto Pro Super Show happening this Saturday and Sunday in Toronto. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.